Hi everyone. Today I'm going to show you some of the blending techniques that I use, and video is going to be really good for beginners if you're just starting out in oil paint. I know that it can be kind of intimidating when you first start out, or for that reason you might not want to even try it, but I'm going to be using water soluble oil paints, which are very easy to clean up. And well, let's get started. Okay, this is going to be a practice session, so we're going to be using this acrylic paper. This is canvas paper. You can use it for acrylic and oil painting. And it's a thicker type of paper. Right here, I cut a sheet of it. And we're just going to be using this for our practice sessions. I do recommend that when you start off with when you're first starting off with oil paint, practice, cut off a little piece of the canvas that you're going to be using, and then practice on that. Practice your blending skills, practice just some brush work with the oil paint to see how it feels, how you like it. And right here we're going to practice our little blending technique that I use. And right here I have a piece of palette paper that I got. And the palette paper is just like this thin, waxy paper that you use for mixing. And then I'm gonna kind of swirl the paint a little bit with my brush just to get the feel of it. Now, water soluble oil paint is a little bit thicker and more pastier than regular oil paint, but basically it's almost the same. I would say that's probably one of the very few differences in this kind of paint. And here we're just painting this little block, I guess you could just call it, a little, almost like a test. And then we're going to lighten the color, blend it out to a lighter shade. Now you can put a little dab of paint on your palette paper, or you can put the paint directly on the canvas paper, whichever one you like. And here I take this white, which is already mixing into a pinkish color, and just blend it in. I'm slowly blending it in and then working it out into this. And then when you want it to go even lighter, you're going to have to wipe off the brush, wipe off the excess. Using a little towel like this, just dab off the excess paint from here, and then add some more white over here to continue blending it out to a very lighter shade, a much lighter shade. So you just grab a little dab with your brush, and then you're blending it out in this section. Okay, now we're going to take the red section and we're going to darken that. So what you want to do is wipe off the excess paint on the brush that you already have. And the darker, we're going to use burnt umber for the dark area. I like burnt umber because it darkens the original color very nicely. If you use a different one, it might change the hue or the tone a little bit, but this doesn't. Okay, now we're going to start over here. There's our brown color. We apply it right there and mix it in to the red color, and we're going to blend it. And if it's coming on too strong, wipe your brush. Very important to keep wiping it. Okay, we've wiped it some more. And then we continue the blending. Blending it in, blending it in. Okay, so I'm going to add some more red right there. And sort of blend it into the lighter shade. Okay, wipe your brush. I did a little mistake right there. Wipe your brush. Then work in the darker color. And I would recommend that you just practice this over and over till it becomes second nature. And this is one technique that you can use for blending the color from red to a darker red and then a lighter red. The colors that you used right there. And you can see how that works, but let's add a little bit more red to the brown area because I want it to be more, there you go. See how you can see this transitions from dark to light. And practice this technique over and over till you get really good at it. And then I recommend you start a full painting after you feel confident. Okay, that's one way of blending. This is a very smooth type of blending that I use to make it very almost, you don't really notice the brush strokes too much. But here's another one that we're going to try. With this one, we're going to be a bit more, just a bit more brushwork, I guess you can say. And on this one, we're not going to do these long strokes. We're going to just do these type of splotchy kind of strokes. And as you're doing this, try to sort of feel your brush, feel that technique. Try to feel how the paint moves, how it swirls. In essence, what I'm trying to say is, it's like you're communicating with the paint, with the brush, your arm, your hand. It's all a form of communication. Try to make it kind of like a harmony, sort of. Okay, but here's the splotchy technique. And then we're gonna lighten it up by using white. So you wipe the excess paint off of your brush, grab some white, and then we're gonna put this in there. Using the same technique, we're gonna blend it in just as smoothly as you can, very gently, very lightly. This is another technique for blending. And then wipe off the excess. You always got to be wiping off the excess paint when you want to switch to another color or you want to make it lighter, so that your brush won't pick up the paint that you were already using. And there you go. Also practice these techniques over and over on just a sheet of canvas. And remember that each canvas type has a different texture, so the paint's gonna behave differently on each canvas that you're using. If you're using a thicker woven canvas, or you're using canvas paper, or you're using a very fine canvas, the paint's gonna behave differently on each canvas. Always keep that in mind. That's very important to remember. So if you're practicing on this canvas paper, remember it's going to be totally different on linen canvas or a cotton canvas or whatever canvas. Now we're mixing in the dark tone. using the same technique as we did earlier over here. And with practice, your blending will get really, really, really fine, and your skill level will really get really fine as you practice this over and over and over. Because this is something that the more you practice, the better you're going to get at this. And there we go. We're going from light to dark. And as you practice, you can really get this to blend in almost where you can't even notice where it's been blended in, if that's the technique or the skill that you want to do. Okay, and another one that we're going to do is where we just swirl. Yeah, we're just swirling the paint here. Try to feel that paint, you know. Try to feel how smooth it is, how it feels. And don't worry about wearing out the brushes because of the way that you paint. You know, it's just your style, your own personal technique. If you wear out the brushes, or if you use a lot of paint, that's just the way you paint. Some people, they really worry about wearing out the brushes, or they don't want to use too much paint. They want to save, you know, as much paint as they can. Don't really think about that. Don't make that your main purpose when you're painting. When you're painting, just sort of let yourself go. Let your emotion, your skill, all that, just let it go. Just let it out. And don't worry about how you're painting, about the brush strokes, and you don't want to waste too much paint, or you don't want to wear out your brushes. You know, don't worry about that. Just like I said, just sort of let your spirit flow. Let it flow out onto the paper, onto the canvas, onto whatever it is that your medium is. Really feel the medium. Feel this medium, really feel the paint. It's almost like you're dancing. Like you're dancing with the brush and the paint, and you're leading them. You know, you're leading them into these beautiful dance or beautiful steps, and they're allowing you. They're dancing with you, so yeah, I think it is kind of sort of this spiritual thing, if you let it. I mean, if you think of it as just this technical thing that you got to master and learn, well, that's who you are, I guess. But for me, it's more than that. Painting is a lot more than that. It's almost, I would say it is spiritual in a way, in essence. And here we are, I'm swirling in the darker tone. Just very, very lightly. And this is how I'm doing it, very, very lightly. You can just, if you want to just go in there and be very bold about it, very boldly mix in the paint. You can do whatever style or whatever technique it is that you want to accomplish. It's all about you, the painter. But I'm just showing you the way that I blend these things. Okay, and there you go. This is just a very simple test practice session. Like I said, I recommend that you do these sessions over and over. Just keep a little practice pieces of canvas. Practice it on regular canvas, on cotton canvas, thick canvas, thin canvas, on this canvas paper also, to get the really feel of it. And like I said, this is water-soluble oil that is just a little bit different than regular oil. It's, like I said, it's just probably a little bit thicker. And then once you get good at these techniques here, you can start adding in, you can start practicing with, if you want to add thickeners or paint thinners or whatever you want to add to your paint, then you can practice with those. But this is it for now, just showing you these little simple practice techniques that have really helped me out. So I really hope that this helps you out as a beginning painter. Don't be intimidated by oil paint. I know a lot of people are, but it's really fun to use. You can really do a lot of neat techniques with it. So I really recommend that you give it a try and just do these little practice sessions to help you out. Thank you for watching, and bye bye bye.